Hello. Well, here we are at the community garden on the 22nd of May. The field has been tilled and the goose is gone. Yes, we had a goose. She nested here, but her goslings have hatched and they generally just move on as soon as that happens. No point hanging around for coyotes and foxes to predate on your hard work. So, yes, this is the Boys and Girls Club. That's their little section here. As you can see, it's all been tilled. Oh, hello, Shadow. And this is the rest of it. So it's quite a big stretch, but it does have 130 10 by 10 plots on it. So, yeah, it's not that big, really. I have 6 of those. I don't know if you remember from last year, or if you've seen those videos. Lots of dandelions here, but that means there's lots of pollinators, so I really don't mind. Weeding is just part of the joy. So, yeah. So that's it. Just a little update. We will be staking on Saturday. We'll come out, we'll do the perimeter on Friday. And it makes it just a lot easier once we establish the 4 corners again. So yeah, and then Saturday morning at 10, I'll bring the camera around and you can see the progress. I'm hoping for a good turnout because if we get like 20 people out, it takes an hour. And that's it. Yeah, so it's pretty quick. Nice. So, our little tidy tanks are here. The shed is good. The dirt is beautiful. And it's a really lovely day. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye. Okay, so while we're on the subject of the community garden, I just thought I would just quickly show you the plans. They've changed just slightly since the last time I recorded this. So just a few changes. I've decided to keep beans away from the onions, and I am going to grow 1 row of peas by my potatoes. There'll also be some nasturtiums in that patch. I'm currently soaking a bunch of seeds for those. And yeah, so nothing really changed there, except I changed out a dragon tongue bean for a Canada goose bean. I read the dragon tongue bean was a wax bean, and then I found out it wasn't. So anyway, much confusion ensued, and I decided I wanted a drying bean anyway. So then we've got my coffee grounds have been collected from a franchise of a international coffee chain. So I got a 5-gallon bucket of those for my carrots and leeks bed. I have a whole bunch of wood ash for my onion bed. Tons and tons of manure for the pumpkin patch. My potatoes don't get anything, and they just get a little bit of blood and bone, and that's all I give them. Yeah, and some peat moss, of course. So that's basically the only changes. Yeah, and I'll take you into the garage now, and you can see what we've got chitting. So here we are in the lab. It's looking a little empty now. I did have 3 of these little greenhouses. I've broken one down and put it away. This is my third and fourth bags of this Pro Mix. So the onions, yes. The onions are still here, still desperately waiting to go out into the garden. They're all looking a little kind of sick and tired of being around here. There is some soup celery over there. I have taken some of the soup celery and put it in the backyard in my herb garden. We'll get to that one day, I guess. But I'm gonna plant some more out at the community garden. I'd like to compare the 2 gardens from one another, so and just a few scrappy little herbs that I've started. Those shallots are just rocking my world. I just love those guys. They're fabulous. I can't wait to get them into the garden. So here, I don't know how well you can see this, there is some chitting going on with the parsnip seeds. So we've got more than 10% now, which makes me quite happy too. So we'll see how they go once they're in the soil. You know, it's nothing's guaranteed. These are the Lincoln Homesteader peas. I'm only doing one row. And so I've just got those soaking. They are actually starting to chit nicely. They should be ready for Saturday. These are the crimson flowered broad beans. Next to them are the Marketmore cucumbers. It's my neighbor. These are the Beurre de Rockencoeur. They are starting to chit as well. And then, of course, the black Russian broad beans, which are just giving her. Now, here's the Canada Goose bean. Nothing quite yet. They are swelling a little, so they should be all right. These are Henderson's Bush Lima beans, which are really like a butter bean. That's how I know it. And then these guys here are Grandma Nellie's mushroom beans. Now, I think I got these from Incredible Seed. I'm pretty sure I did. And they just sounded fabulous. Apparently they actually taste like mushrooms, and they are a wax bean. Okay, so and here's my nasturtium seeds. I'm just soaking those. I'll take that over to the garden. So yes, everything's pretty much done here. I've got some things I just wanted to show you. I've just cut a few pieces of this mesh here because this is what I'm going to grow my cabbages under, and they will have some tutu fabric, which is a nice fine mesh. Here, I'll grab this here. This is the stuff we use to keep the white cabbage butterflies off. So I'll cut that and put it over. I've had to kind of tape the edges, as that would definitely tear my mesh fabric because there's some sharp corners where they've been spot welded. Yeah, so that's the plan for that. And let's see, let's just quickly out here. I'm currently hardening off the peppers and the pumpkins that are going into the community garden. The peppers will be staying here. That's the other thing I did change. I was going to put them in the community garden, but I found some window boxes that I didn't take to BC, so I'm going to put them in here where I can keep an eye on them and keep them warm and cozy if the weather changes. So there's the red Russian kale and the Hamburg rooted parsley. Not sure what's going on with that. It's not really leaping out at me. This is the kale, Couve tronchuda, a couple of eggplants, and then all of the cabbages, and some osteospermum, some lavender, and some ivy in a bucket. There you go. Now, I did plant 3 pumpkin plants out here, 2 at the back there, nearest the wall. Those are the Gallo de Sans, and I've got 1 Mus de Provence, which because I have 4, I just thought, well, we've got room here. It'll be fine. I put a lot of cow manure in this little patch, so they should be quite happy. And then I'll give them regular feedings of kelp feed throughout the year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything's either hardening off or in the ground. So yeah, that's it from the lab. Thanks for joining me.